Hi everyone, it's Heidi Smith here from Flutter by Heidi. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the United Kingdom, and today's project is using a tag topper to create a lovely tied box using new in colours, because that's the theme of our hop today. All the details are down below in the description bar. And they're also, the links are on my blog as well, so you can hop along to see all the other projects using the 2020 in colours. So these are a lovely range of colours, and I've got several of them on this box. I'm going to use more of them on my second box, and you'll see this just opens up to make a really big spacious box for you to pop a little gift in. And I've used not only the lovely in colours but also the lovely You stamp set as well, which has got some beautiful sentiments and fonts on it, so I'm going to be using that. On this one I've used my delightful tag topper, but I'm going to make it also with the fancy tag topper so you can see the difference in those two as well. So the colours that we're using are these ones here. So there are 5 colours that come out every year, and they last for 2 years, and they're always the kind of fresh colours that are in fashion. And this year's are Misty Moonlight, Bumblebee, Just Jade, Magenta Madness and Cinnamon Cider. And you can see I've used all apart from the Cinnamon Cider on this one. So we've got sort of the Misty Moonlight, we've got some, in fact I've used Night of Navy to go with the Night of Navy card on this one, but that's your Magenta Madness, Bumblebee and Just Jade. And then I've used some of the beautiful in colour ribbon, and this is available in all 5 colours. So this is Bumblebee, and I'm going to use some of my Magenta Madness for this project, which I've just got here. So let's get started. I'll put my ink pads to one side. We'll need those shortly. As I say, the stamp sets I've already popped on Stampin' Up blocks. Really worthwhile investing in these. They come to hand so nice in a really good weight. So let's get started. You're going to need a piece of A4 cardstock, and I have sized this so it should work for both European and American A4 cardstock. Yours is a bit shorter than ours, so you're just going to trim it down on the short edge to 8 inches, and then on the long edge just trim that down to 11 inches as well. Now, in terms of the scoring, let's get started. So I'm going to work in inches today. I have worked it out in centimetres as well for those who prefer centimetres. I do vary, so but I will 99 times out of 100 they'll be in both on my blog. Just some projects just don't quite work in one or other of the measurements. So on the short edge, as I whitter on, you're going to score at 1 inch on the right hand side here. Flip it around, and then you're going to score at 3 inches, at 5 inches, and at 7 inches. Then on the short edge, you've just done the short edge. On the long edge, you're going to score at 1.5, at 3.5, at 7.5, and at 9.5 inches. And that's all your scoring done. You're then going to need to cut 3 pieces of, I've used Very Vanilla just as a change, and I've cut these to 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, and you'll want 3 of those, 1 for the top and 2 for the front and back. Obviously you could do them for the ends as well if you wanted to, up to you entirely. Okay, so now what we need to do though is fold and burnish our score lines. So again, I'm using my bone folder here just to get some nice crisp creases. And this just helps get your box shape really nice and straight right from the start. So once you've done that, we're actually going to do some trimming, and on all 4 corners we're going to trim away the outer edge, outer 3 squares, but we're also going to come and cut halfway down this as well. So it's up to you which way you do it. You can do it as I've just done there, which is just to cut that short tab at the start, like so. Or you can just come in, cut away the 3, and then cut the tab. It all depends what you're more comfortable with. Okay, so you can cut down to score line, then just cut halfway on here, and then notch that out. So either method works, equally as well. It's just personal preference and how confident you are with your snipping away. You know me, I tend to do 3D quite a bit, so I quite merrily snip away. Although that being said, it doesn't always work out. Do occasionally make mistakes. Few remakes of videos as a result occasionally. But it doesn't happen very often, because I really like to sort of show you that it's you can correct things. I don't I'm a demonstrator, yes, but I'm also at the end of the day I'm a crafter, and we all learn as we go along, and so I quite like to do a bit of a one hit wonder, as I say, warts and all, because that way it shows people that mistakes can be overcome if I were to edit it, apart from the time it takes, but it doesn't give you an impression of how long it takes, and also of how to correct things if they don't go quite how you want them to. So that's what you're going to end up with, and obviously we're then going to use our tag topper. Now this tag topper takes you can see it's just a single width on this one, so I'm just going to fold the tabs in on that one and just slide that in, and just make sure you're sliding it all the way into the end. And if you're ever unsure, just turn it over and have a little look, and sometimes it's easier to, might be easier if I, there we go, there you go. So just see that's pushed in. As you turn it over, you can see it is pushed in, and that makes a really lovely elegant end on there. Same on our other end. So there's our 2 tag toppers. So I'm going to pop that to one side, because the next stage is actually to do our stamping. So you've got 3 panels, one for the top and one each for the front and the back. And I'm just going to come in with all of my different ink pads. So on the top one, I'm going to use my Sentiment in Misty Moonlight, and I'm just going to stamp that at the top in the middle. And then I'm going to come along with my flower and just do a little border along there, changing the angle very slightly as we go, like so. I'm going to pop in with a couple of leaves with my Just Jade, and you see all these colours work beautifully together. So that's going to be my top layer. Then I'm going to do a front and back. Now you don't need to do a back panel if you don't want to. Up to you, and obviously it's up to you entirely. I'm just going to pop in with a little bit of that either side. What I am going to do is perhaps change it, mixed up a bit with my Magenta Madness flower here. And then come in perhaps with some, give these a quick at the bottom there. And then I'm going to come in with my Bumblebee, which is a really lovely colour. I'm just doing one panel. Obviously repeat as you want for the second panel. I'm just going to come in with some flowers like so. Pop in with a little bit more foliage here. And this stamp set is a super one to create any sort of floral accents that you might want to. And what I'm then going to do is pop in with some of our lovely in colour enamel dots. So these again are obviously designed to coordinate. And I've actually used both the Bumblebee and the cinnamon cider on these. So I'm actually going to come in with the cinnamon cider. Rather liked that. Just reminded me of when you get, when you get the sunflowers and you get the seeds kind of starting, they get a slightly different tone. These are well stuck on. Even my I'm managing to. Feels like maybe I need to replace my putty. So just take your pick. So there you go. I'm not going to put one on the very top there because it'll overhang slightly. So now that you've done that, we're going to pop our panel, and you want to decide which is the front, and you're going to pop that on the front panel. I haven't done any layers on it. I don't think it needs it on this occasion. There we go. So I'm just using a little bit of Tombow on there. Gives me a bit of wiggle room. And that is just going to pop onto that front panel like so. And then this one, you're just going to add glue to the bottom half, because that's actually going to be your closure as well. So again, just pop that on there. Make sure it's nice and closed. And then we're then going to put our glue onto here. Now I've got the fabulous new Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus. So Stampin' Seal is what we would normally use for our DSP, and Stampin' Seal Plus is a new adhesive. See, they're both going to this nice good size for your hand, and this has got like little sort of strips of tape. So all you need to do is just lift that at the end and it just breaks off really easily. You can go back in, and that's a really good seal on there, really strong glue. Then the little cap on there just stops it drying out as well, and you can pop it back in the bag that it comes in to keep it from drying out further. So all we're going to do then is just line up these ends of our boxes. So this is, standard, just lining up, and give it a good squeeze on the inside. The last one, last end or second end, and the last tab, just pop that inside like so and line up. And then all we do is we're going to fold those in, and you see you've got it just frames the phrase really nicely. We're going to take our ribbon, probably about 15 inches, something like that. And this tag topper is great because you can fit both round cord, which will pop into the top, or flat cord, sort of thicker cord. And then I'm just going to tie that at the side there. Make sure my ribbon is flat. And then this ribbon just is fabulous to work with. Then just trim that off. Obviously keep those for another little project. Great for adding a little accent. And there we have a pair of pretty tag topper boxes using our fabulous new in colours. And if you hop along to my blog, the Inspire Ink girls, and I think we might have one fella. Anyway, the Inspiring Crew will have lots of different projects using these inks and papers and other accents to show you how versatile they are, and making some lovely projects, I'm sure. So please hop along on the blog. Love for you to subscribe, because you'll always get told when I'm going to be producing more projects and showcasing some more Stampin' Up! Products. And if you'd like to purchase any of the items you've seen today, please pop along to my blog at flutterbyheidi.co.uk, and you can find the links there to all the different items that you can purchase from my shop. Thanks for watching. Come back soon. Bye.